Fabiano?
Fabiano.
Fabiano. This is the first time I've ever heard that I can remember a candidate that wants to run for office and if elected is going to refuse any financial remuneration. That's fantastic.
George Washington did it too.
Well, that's great. You're in great company. I'm with Brunson Brothers Media Group, and we're doing a little documentary on the oath of office. It seems that many people out there don't even know that there's an oath. And as you know, and I know, every politician in Washington, D.C. has taken an oath to support, protect, defend the Constitution from enemies, domestic and foreign. Could you tell our viewers just what the oath is in simple terms?
To honor, support, and sustain and protect the Constitution of the United States is what it's all about.
That's basically it, isn't it? Now, is there a penalty, or do you know if there has been a penalty for politicians violating the oath? It seems like there's a blatant disrespect for the oath in Washington, D.C. What are your feelings about that?
You know and I know that that's true, what you're saying, but so far as anybody being brought up on charges relative to that, I never heard it ever happen.
Okay.
And do I think it should happen? Yes, I do.
Well, I've interviewed a retired major general, and he says when a military officer breaks his oath, it's Leavenworth. So how do you feel about that?
What he's saying is absolutely the truth. He's right. And the same kind of penalty should be applicable to those in serving in our government. It really should.
So when you go and let's say you become our next senator, would you affirm your oath or would you swear your oath? And what do you feel the difference would be?
I would swear to it. I would swear to it before the people, and I would swear before God that I would keep my oath and never deter from it, never.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Apparently, throughout history, the swearing of the oath was actually invoking the vengeance of God upon that person if they break their oath. How do you feel about that?
And that's totally correct, and it should be placed exactly that way and realize that, and it's the truth.
Well, this is great. I think you have told us a lot just with these few answers here. This DVD that we're doing right now hopefully will go to all the delegates, all the Republican delegates, maybe Democrats too, before the next election. So I appreciate your time very much. Do you have any other thoughts or things, something you'd like to say?
The biggest thing I want to say is that we as a people need to be educated relative to the Constitution. We need to know more about it. We need to understand it. Because how can we put our hands to our hearts and say that we swear allegiance to the United States of America if we really don't know what it's about? Because the United States of America is our Constitution. That's what it's about. And we need to understand it better so we can function as citizens better. It's absolutely essential because we can't have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people and do it in ignorance. We just cannot do that. It doesn't work.
Do you think we have a chance to recover what we've lost in this country, or are you hopeful about the future?
It all depends on the people. Because the people have the power, they've got the vote, they've got the power, and they need to exercise it properly with intelligence and understanding. And if they do that, we can do it, we can win it, we can do anything that needs to be done, and we can get the country back to where it's supposed to be, where it was intended by the Founding Fathers, and that's the truth.
Do you think the people of Utah could start some campaign where every household in America receives the copy of the Constitution and information about the framing of the Constitution? Would you support something like that?
Absolutely, and I think it needs to begin here in Utah because we of all people should really know better.
Okay, great. Well, that's what this media gift is, this DVD gift is about. It will have a copy of the Constitution in it, and hopefully we'll get it to all of the citizens of Utah, not just the delegates.
And I hope they also get a copy of the 5,000-year leap because that's the real education about the Constitution, because you can read it 100 times, you'll never get the understanding as you would if you read and understand the 5,000-year leap. That's a marvelous book. It's an education on the Constitution.
That's a great idea. We'll work on that idea, see if we can get that as a gift as well to all the citizens here in Utah and then beyond.
That's what I'm trying to do, and so I'm with you.
Great. Thank you very much, and God bless, and wish you all the success. We've just had a conversation for a few minutes here, and you've said some very, very important things and easily understood things about the rights of groups and individuals and government. Maybe you could just continue on.
Okay, let's start from what I was saying before. You as an individual, okay, do not have the right to delegate to government a right that you don't have yourself. So if you don't have a right from God, okay, which is natural law, if you don't have that right from God, to be able to take money from this person and give it to that person, well, you really, in good conscience and whatnot, and you cannot delegate that right to government because it's unconstitutional. It's not correct. Okay, And the problem that we have in our society is because probably for way over 100 years, people have lost that understanding. They don't realize that. And as a result of that, people go to their candidates and say, well, what are you going to do for me? And ask, are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And they want to know from the candidates what the candidate's going to do. But in reality, that needs to be driven from the people. The people need to let the candidates know just exactly what they need and what they want, okay? So that the candidates know, okay, this is my job, but how can the people know that and know what to ask and know what is constitutional and what is not constitutional if they have no understanding of the document? And for the most part, there's very, very few of us do. The thing that's interesting about Utah, okay, is most of the people in Utah know that the Constitution is a document inspired of Father in heaven for the regulation of the affairs of men. They know that this is a God-given document. They also know that they should not be doing anything. They should be exercising the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Okay? That's what's fair and that's what's right. Now, since they know that this is an inspired document, it behooves them, okay, to educate themselves relative to it. Okay? Now, you can read the Constitution hundreds of times, and you will not get the education that you need unless you read a book like The 5,000-Year Leap by Cleon Skousen, because that book teaches the 28 principles the Founding Fathers used to formulate the Constitution, but it's done in the words of the Founding Fathers relative to those issues. That's what makes it so fantastic. It really is. It's a marvelous education. And if we all had that kind of an education, we would not be in the shape that we're in. And of all places, the renaissance of liberty, okay, needs to be started here